And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to a very special broadcast. Welcome back to a replay cast of the GSL Season 2 qualifiers of 2023. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely, the beautiful, the plushies, and the ducks. Oh, you can't see him. All right. Feels bad when your green screen captures the yellow duck. Aye. But welcome, everyone. Welcome back. It's something that we don't get to do too often. So we also did a replay cast of Season 1. Season 1 is, I think, on YouTube or soon to be on YouTube as we speak. Season 2 has arrived, has come and gone. The qualifiers did take place a couple of days ago. For those who are maybe a little bit curious, the GSL qualifiers have never been live casted, or I think the last time they were live casted was like 2015. it was a long time ago. Basically, the way that GSL or Africa does it, or GSL before GOM TV before them, is that they rent out a space, PC bung area, and then they have everyone come into the studio to play out their games, and they do collect replays, but they don't play anything live, just to make sure that the qualifier runs smoothly, runs quickly. You know, it's all about the players for the qualifiers, not so much about the broadcast. And they have released the replays to the people. So because of that, we can now have a bit of a replay cast, because these have not been broadcasted live. And GSL Season 2, it starts in a couple of days. I believe it starts tomorrow. I think it starts tomorrow, actually. So it is right around the corner. Just double checking. No, sorry. In 2 days, 48 hours is day 1 of GSL. So we wanted to try to squeeze in this broadcast just before the main season starts, so we can have a look and see how players are performing right now, and how they qualified, how they made it into the main event, into GSL itself. And we have a number of pretty exciting matches up ahead of us. A number. Let's go. Hello, Wormstick. Hello, Emperor Furible. Kuro in the chat. Welcome. Of course, our first matchup is going to be a PvP Hero versus Classic. Before we get into our first matchup as well, we can also take this moment to have a look at the brackets. I say the bracket, have a look at the matches we have ahead of us. So the way this works is there were groups. There were 4 groups in total, and top 2, or 2 players made it out of each group. One from the upper bracket, one from the lower bracket. The groups were double elimination. So we already have a couple of matches lined up for us. Group A, winners match is Hero versus Classic. Group B, Astrea versus Ryung, and Group C is Creator versus Ragnarok. And then the second matches for each group is basically going to be the loser of the first series. So whoever loses between Hero and Classic goes up against TY, whoever loses against Astrea and Ryung goes up against Dark, and whoever loses against Creator and Ragnarok goes up against Nice. Oh boy, so those are our 6 best ofs for tonight, for this evening, 6 best of 3s. That's the unfortunate thing, is that all matches in the qualifiers were best of 3s, not best of 5s, so that much more brutal, that much more intense. I mean, to be fair, at least it is double elimination, so players will have a second chance, of course. But yeah, they are going to be brutal indeed. So that's kind of a bit of a forecast of what we have ahead of us tonight. This was only round 1, by the way. There was a round 2, which is this, but you know, double the amount of matches. So another 6 matches are ahead of us. But I don't think casting 12 best of 3s is the best idea. So we're going to do half today, half on Tuesday. So yeah, we have split it up into 2 broadcasts, and hopefully everyone's able to bear witness and everyone is able to enjoy the matches themselves. So yeah, there we go. And already, I'm pretty excited overall. I'm excited to cast Astrea. I mean, for those who are wondering, Astrea and Future are both currently in the land of Korea. They're both living there alongside, I believe, Scarlet and Special. They are also there, and Nice, obviously. They're all in Korea right now. So because of that, they all took part in the qualifiers. Likewise, some older names like TY as well is a part of this qualifier. For those wondering, TY, Stats, and Innovation, the 3 of them did return to competing at the start of the year. Maybe end of last year, but at least the start of the year. So that have been popping up from time to time in these qualifiers in KSL, in ESL Open Cup Asia. They have been popping up. Unfortunately, I don't believe any of them are full-time. They're all just kind of dabbling in the game, kind of like Su as well, where they're all dabbling in the game. And some of them have been able to peak once again. But yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of bear witness to that. We'll see how well a player like TY can do against some of the more established players, or Innovation, or Stats as well, as I think we get to cast Stats in day 2. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that, as we do have our first matchup ready for us. And again, it is going to be herO versus Classic. Oh, let's go, buddy. Let's go. I'm just setting up the audio. Beautiful. And again, we have casted these two players face off many times in the recent months in ESL Open Cup Asia, and ESL Open Cup Americas, and the KSL as well. It's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun when they do face off, but here we have our first South Korean Protoss in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, representing his brand new team, Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other South Korean Protoss representing GranKy Gaming, rocking that Zest portrait. It is herO. Boy. Most recently, I think we casted them in the finals of an ESL Open Cup Asia, maybe 3 weeks ago, and more recently, I believe we casted them face-off in a Kung Fu Cup? No, another ESL Asia, because I casted it with Yaku. I remember casting both with Yaku in the most recent ESL Open Cup Asia. So yeah, they have been facing off. They have been going back and forth in series, and I say this all the time, but they are some of my favorite Protoss players out there to cast, just because they are both so aggressive, so in your face. I don't expect this series to go to the late game in any way. I don't expect it to be that long. So we'll see. We'll see how this does all come to passes. For the time being, we have gate expands set up from both players. Again, we are in Babylon, so it is very sensible to go for an economic opener like this, just because you have your ramp, you have your high ground advantage, and both players just going to try and be as annoying as possible, delay each other's natural base as best they can with these probes, with eventual pylon blocks. So nothing too fancy to begin with. We already see herO is chronoing out his first Zealot. Classic is holding off, and oh, it pays off as he is able to get his natural base on location. But herO wants to be aggressive. I don't know if you noticed, but from the beginning, that Zealot was rallied across the map. He's not too concerned with expanding right now. He's got his first Zealot on the way. As soon as the Cybercore finishes, I imagine he's going to be making a Stalker, an Adept, just being as aggressive as possible. He throws down a pylon. This is very classic herO. His plan here is to throw down a shield battery so he can snowball out of control. But oh no, he does cancel, as Classic throws down his own shield battery. Oh boy. And herO throws down his expansion. So herO was trying to fake out Classic, and it worked. Classic, he's going to have to waste some resources here unless he does cancel that building. There we go. He does cancel the shield battery. Recognizes that he should be safe and sound. Oh, but herO doesn't stop. herO does not slow down. We have a proxy pylon being set up here. This could be for a Robo. This could be for... Oh, he cancels the Nexus. He's going for a one base all in. Second gateway's on the way. I'm pretty sure this is going to be for a Robo, or just a third and fourth gateway just for mass there. There we go, just for mass stalkers. herO ramping up the pressure, and Classic is none the wiser. He goes for a bit of a scout, and looks like the wall is not a wall. He confirms that the Nexus was cancelled. He knows. He also scouts the third gateway in the main, fourth gateway across the map. It's a one base, 4 gates all in from herO. And Classic should be preparing back at home. The Zealot has already arrived just to disrupt. Should be focusing the pylon just to, you know, throw a wrench in the works back at home. We do have a Stargate coming out from Classic. There we go. Shield battery is now on the way. A little bit delayed, but at least it is on the way for Classic. As everything is just racing back home as we speak. Now, we should be making a Void Ray first. It'll be very bold if Classic goes for something like an Oracle, and there we go. It is going to be a Void Ray first coming out from Classic. He's aware that he needs whatever army units he can muster right now. Shield battery going to be taking a couple of hits. Another Stalker comes out. It looks like herO, he's going to be sacking one of these Stalkers, but he gets a shield battery. And that may just be worth it because he's going to snowball out of control. Another Stalker does get focused down. As herO, yeah, he's breaking on through. The Void Ray is a couple of seconds from coming out. There's only one Stalker left here for Classic, but no, a second Stalker comes out. The Void Ray arrives. And Classic, I think he should have enough to clean this up. But how much is he going to lose in the process? Oh, yeah, the surround is real. The Stalkers go down one after the other. herO's losing a lot of steam, but he has Adepts rocking in, not Stalkers. I like this, not gonna lie. The Adepts are making their way into the main base. We do have a pylon being thrown down. We do fully wall off. Just trying to buy some time as herO is focusing down worker after worker. But he's got a lot of catching up to do. Oh. herO still down 8 workers. More Adepts are rocking up as well. The wall is not a wall. They managed to break on through, but this feels like desperation from herO. He has a Twilight Council on the way. He is still all in on one base. This could be for DT's question mark, but I don't know if herO can really pull this off. Adept rotates around. Only one Adept is remaining. We're getting some economic damage done. Like, we've killed 10 probes in total, but we needed more than 10, to be honest. The Adepts don't make it back in. As herO is forced back. Twilight Council is about to finish up, and is this going to be for the DT? Yep. Dark Shrine is on the way, but this feels so late. I'll be honest, like, this is getting better and better for Classic. Like, he's been able to hold on to his natural. I'm not like he has access to an Oracle if need be. There's the Robo. With that Robo, we should be working on an Observer. And I do think that herO was just a little bit too overzealous, a little bit too cavalier in the beginning. The way that he just sacrificed so many Stalkers to get a shield battery, to focus on Stalkers, to break into the natural. Like, it did feel like herO was, yeah, again, a little bit trigger happy with how aggressive he was being, instead of waiting for reinforcements and taking a little bit of a slower approach. I understand pressure was on him, but GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 1. Whew. With a very solid scout and a solid reaction to the one base all in. Again, bringing it all back, it was also very crucial and very important that Classic scouted and confirmed that the Nexus of herO was cancelled. And that's such a rare thing. Let's be real. How often does a Protoss player cancel their Nexus just so they can throw down additional gateways and commit to the aggression, right? So, again, very wise of Classic to double check just in case, to go across the map with that Adept and to confirm exactly what herO was up to. He never scouted the proxy gate, but again, seeing the 3 gates in the main, or the gate in the main and the 2 at the natural, that was enough of a tell for Classic. And yeah, he takes oh, gotta fix that. There we go. He does take a lead in this series. GG. Boy. And now we're getting into game number 2. And again, I was talking about this earlier. I love how dynamic these 2 players are whenever they face off. Very often their games are very short. As we just saw, very often it's either herO or even Classic who just decide to, you know what, let's just cancel some buildings, let's just go all in, let's just send it across the map, or even proxy across the map. So always a little good fun. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gresvan, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Twisted Minds, leading this series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing KranKy Gaming down in this series. In this best of 3, one more loss, and that is it. He'll be knocked down to the lower bracket to face TY. It is herO. As a reminder, regardless of who wins and who loses, the winner, of course, qualifies for GSL. The loser has another chance, as TY is lying in wait. Oh, mate, Taeyang. Love to see it. Oh, boy. Sure, no one wants to face off against him. To be fair, again, TY is an old school player that is returning and still looking to come back into form. But, I mean, that's why I'm also excited about casting him later on to see what kind of form he is in. How good is he right now compared to some of the other players that have been competing all this time while TY has been in the military? That's the question. As both players are going to be setting up for double gate openers, as to be expected here on Gresvan. herO does have a... herO does have a probe out on the map, and he goes for another proxy. Now, if you remember, initially in the last game, herO's proxy was a little bit later because he was trying to fake out a regular expansion. He was trying to feed Classic some false information. This time, nah, mate, he's not holding back at all. The pylon is thrown down. The Cybercore is still on the way. I'm pretty sure we're waiting. We're waiting for the Cybercore to finish up, and this wouldn't be a bad position for a proxy Stargate or a Robo, to be fair. I'm feeling Stargate. I feel like a Robo will be pulled back a little bit further, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be as... Oh, never mind. It's a third gate. Okay. Well then. We're sending it, Poppy. We're sending it. We're looking to snowball here with vanilla gateway units. The probe of herO diving into the main base, just getting confirmation. Hey, look, all 3 of your pylons are in your main. Meanwhile, Classic should be aware only 1 pylon was thrown down in the main base of herO, so there's a pylon missing, and Classic is looking for it. He even sent out a second probe. He checks the regular proxy location, which is behind these rocks. The other one is behind the other rocks. Classic is checking all the standard proxy locations, and I was going to bring this up as well. This proxy pylon and this proxy gateway is really unorthodox, and it's going to take a while here for Classic to figure it out. He does finally come across it, but it took a long time, and meanwhile the Stalkers have already arrived. Good. A little bit of a dance here between these Stalkers. Looks like Classic does come out ahead. He, oh god, does deal more damage to the army of herO as he's backing off, reinforcing at the same time. Classic throws out a defensive Robo. Very good reaction. herO, he loses a Stalker already. Oh, not a good start here for herO. The pylon is looking to be depowered. It does get shut down. Oh, I love this. With the power of these adepts, he's going to be able to chase down some of these softened up Stalkers. herO, he's going to be able to punish Classic for overextending. He still did depower this this gateway, to be fair. As herO is looking to dive into the main. Oh, he has to respect the production, though. He's going to back off. Behind this, herO did throw down a Robo. The Robo itself wasn't proxied, which is why I was a little bit surprised. Oh my god. He goes for a Robo back at home, a Prism first, straight into a Robotics Bay. And I really appreciate this. So herO, obviously he recognizes that his initial plan to go for a 3-gate all-in with a Prism isn't going to work out because he's losing his gateway. He knows that herO, he's behind. Like, his initial plans have been thwarted. He has to try to bounce back in some way, and the way he's going to bounce back is with Disruptors. Now, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for the Disruptors to come out and to really come into play. Until such a time, herO, he's taking a more defensive position. His Prism is moving out to harass. He's got a couple of Adepts. Of course, 2 Adepts can one-shot a Worker. They can one-shot Probes. Classic, likewise, is going to be moving out across the map with his own army, with his own 3-gate Prism. Adepts do slip on in, and do we have a Warp in back at home? It looks like we barely do. 2 Stalkers do get warped in back at home. At the same time, Classic is pushing himself, or he's looking to push himself up that ramp. Does take down the probe. Disruptor is about to pop out. There is no blink. Uh-oh. Yeah, Disruptor pops out. Nova goes off. It will not connect with anything. The jig is up. Classic is now aware of what herO is up to. We have an Immortal coming out behind this. The first gateway is under threat. At the same time, across the map, how many probes did we get? We got 9 probes. Ooh, that's a lot of worker damage, actually. Classic, he lost all of his gas mining probes as well. His economy is not looking too good at all. Classic is kind of being forced a little bit all in, not gonna lie. Like, he's behind in tech, he's behind in economy. He does have a larger army, though. Does have a very large army. He already took down one of those gates. It is being replaced here by another gateway behind, well, next to the gas guys from the main base of herO. Supply block is real, but only for a moment. But yeah, Classic's just chipping away at this. The Cybercore is exposed as well. He's going to force herO to fight. He has to save this Cybercore. The Immortal has arrived, and with the power of the Immortal, looks like Classic, he backs off, he's probing, he's making his own Immortal. Looks like Classic is attempting to transition. He's content with containing herO here to 1 base, and I imagine he's going to be looking to expand himself momentarily. Meanwhile, the Prism makes it back home. We do have a drop being set up, and oh, gotta be careful. Do have to be careful here with the movement of the army. Here he moves out across the map, does avoid the stalkers that were lying in wait at the natural. And the disruptor drop is upon us. Meanwhile, Classic back at home just mustering up his army, getting his units in position, getting ready for a drop. herO sees this. He does have an observer, just covering everything in the main. Oh, and as herO avoids the army, he almost comes across these stalkers. Last is going to be able to avoid them. He does dive into the main base, and how good are the splits? So far, just denying mining. Nova goes off, will connect with 2 of those probes. Not the biggest connection, but again, a lot of lost mining time. Across the map, the Prism of Classic is stuck here in the top left-hand corner of the map. Was unable to get in. And here we have to take this moment to have a look at what we're really dealing with. herO's ahead in Immortals. He has a Disruptor. God, speaking of, we do see the Prism. The Prism goes down. The Disruptor is going to be going down as well. Classic herO with a bit of a blunder here. I was about to say that, like, he has a pretty solid army advantage, but after losing that Disruptor, not as much. Nexus is on the way. herO is still moving out with those 3 Immortals. I don't think he intends to push up the ramp. I think he only intends to deal with the pylon and contain his opponent. Oh, nice catch. He gets 1, 2 stalkers. All 3 stalkers go down, and the sentry. And with 3 Immortals, with this sentry as well, like, Classic can't really push down this ramp. I mean, he's walled off. He's fully walled up anyway, so he could never push down the ramp. But if he tried to, he would be force fielded. herO just looking to get ahead economically. At the same time, stalkers do dive into the main. And they're going to be able to chip away at these forces. We have no shield battery for herO, but we have a Prism. We can micro. herO's able to defend. He's got to be a little bit careful. These Immortals are looking quite exposed. As we look at the units tab, once again, herO has 4 Immortals to the 3 of Classic. He's been able to remake one of those Disruptors. I do think that herO's army is a bit higher quality. Remember, Classic doesn't have Blink, so he has to be very careful with how he deals with this Disruptor. Nova does go off. Nice micro with that Prism. Army's diving on forward. The Disruptor's looking quite exposed. It is going to be saved. And it looks like the Prism Micro is good from both players, but herO's losing quite a lot of his Immortals. But here comes another Disruptor. Up! Oh my god, a massive shot goes off. The Prism goes down. A GG gets called. And herO ties up the series 1-1. Oh my god. Aye. GG, well played. Of course, the pressure was on Classic to do some damage. Classic was forced all in as herO was taking his natural base. You know, he had a better economy, or soon to have a better economy. Oh, God. And now we're going to the ace match. We're going to game number 3, and the question is it going to be Classic's turn to proxy? Because herO has been proxying every game so far. He's been hyper aggressive, and I expect that trend to continue. We'll see. We shall see. As we're getting into the ace match. Boy, to determine the first player to advance on, the first player to make it into Season 2 of GSL. Mate, what's with the seedings? It's so brutal that the 2 top Protoss players in Korea have to face off in the same group. Here we go. Here we have them spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon KaiZ Gaming, the best Protoss in Korea, arguably the best Protoss in the world. It is herO. herO might be number 1, but Classic is number 2. And they do go back and forth, especially in these PvPs. Only right that we go all the way to the ace match, that we go all the way to game 3. And we'll see how this story ends. herO already doing something crazy, by the way. Classic is setting up for a 2-gate opener, and typically you have both gateways as a part of the ramp so you can wall off. herO throws down his gateway next to his Gas Geyser, which is wild. Clearly, he doesn't care about walling off, and that's a bit of a tell already about how aggressive herO wants to be. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this probe. Classic does go in with a probe scout, does confirm the gateway positioning of herO. Very suspect, very sus indeed. herO is moving out towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Cybercore is thrown down. And this is looking like a proxy Twilight Council? No. A pseudo proxy, a fake proxy. So I like this. This looks really suspect from herO. He obviously proxies his second pylon because the second pylon is not in the main base. Classics is, for example, here next to his Gas Geyser, and Classic sees that, so he knows that a pylon is missing. And herO, he does proxy it, but he's not doing anything with it. He's playing standard. So the mind games are upon us, and again, it makes sense, especially considering that herO has proxied every game so far in this series. So he's trying to get into the mind of Classic. Meanwhile, Classic so far hasn't really flinched too much. He's opening up double Adept as well, so Classic wants to be the aggressor. He doesn't buy it, not at all. And it makes sense that you would go double Adept. Again, the big reason why you wall off like this in PvP is so you can fully wall off with a Warp Prism, sorry, with a Shield Battery, so you can deny Adepts from getting into your main base. Without any wall, Adepts, they're ideal in this situation. Meanwhile, Classic, he delays his Nexus, he throws down a Stargate. Likewise, herO delays his own Nexus, he throws down a Robo, throws down another Gateway, and he is going for one base all in. Classic gonna try and scout, but the Stalkers are here to deny it. Adepts are about to rock up as well. And the Adepts should get a full scout of the main base. As the Adepts do make it in, they get eyes on the Robo. They get eyes on the third Gateway. They don't see the Robo yet, but they're gonna be able to get a couple of probes. Okay, one probe goes down. Seeing the third Gateway is more than enough information to tell you that it is gonna be a one base all in. So back at home, we should be preparing. We have an Oracle first. Bold move here from Classic. This Oracle is going to be looking to deal some crippling damage to herO. We have a Shield Battery on the way, so after this Oracle, we should get a Void Ray. There should be a Void Ray on the way right after this. Again, this is a greedy move from Classic. No, he's making a second Oracle? Uh-oh. This is... This is crazy, Poppy. This is crazy. So, Classic, his goal here with the Oracles and the Adepts is to cripple the economy of herO. And hey, he's forcing herO back home, to be fair. This is kind of working, but herO, he turns back around. So, in a way, this is good because, again, he's crippling the one base all-in of herO, but at the same time, he's sacrificing a lot of his army. He's sacrificing his defensive units. He fully walls off. He has 2 shield batteries. He has an overcharge. Classic is ready for the push. Will he regret not having a Void Ray at home? We're here to find out. Oh boy. As herO has arrived, he has high ground vision. Gateways are going to be picked apart one after the other. 2 Oracles can one-shot probes, and the shield battery won't be enough to defend the mineral line of herO, so workers are going to be going down. At the same time, we only have 1 gateway left for Classic. We have 0 gateways left for Classic. He can't warp in anything else. What you see is what you get. We have 6 Stalkers and two Oracles across the map. Oh, Classic is setting up a ninja base? I don't think he's going to be able to make use of this probe, unfortunately, but, you know, it's out there on the map. Ugh. As another gateway does get up and running, Void Ray is on the way for Classic. But herO's doing a great job just crippling the production of his opponent. So herO, he's got a bad economy. Classic, he's got a rough production. So yeah, in a way, both players are doing some inadvertent damage to each other. Still haven't committed. It looks like one of the Oracles did die earlier, so that means that Classic, he doesn't have one-shot potential anymore. It means that this one Oracle is that much less threatening to herO. But he is at least forcing supply to be kept at home. supply that herO would otherwise love to have across the map. Like, imagine if these 4 Stalkers were here, then I do think that herO could push up this ramp and go toe-to-toe with this army. He's looking to do so anyway. Second Void Ray has arrived. Oracle rotating around. He's looking for a better angle of attack. Gets eyes on the Twilight Council. I think herO is maybe thinking about DTs. Or maybe Blink. As Classic does go for the Ninja. We were talking about it earlier. Like, Classic has been able to successfully hold on long enough to, like, muster up enough resources for this Ninja base. And from here, he can recall his probes over and have more efficient mining. At the same time, or even just produce probes, right? Meanwhile, we do have herO diving behind the mineral line, looking to deal some of his own economic damage. I know the Void Rays do fend this off. Now, if this base gets up and running, herO, a lot of pressure is going to be on him to end the game. Otherwise, he'll be just falling behind. herO backs off. Up, up. Does catch the Oracle. Both Oracles have now fallen. And that Ninja base is going to be able to get up and running. And herO, he's going to try to expand himself. Okay, the 1 base all-ins have ended. We are transitioning. Twilight Council did finish. It wasn't for a Dark Shrine. We do see Blink on the way instead, as the game is going to go longer. And yeah, Classic will maintain that economic advantage. Okay, he's even going to get a third. Oh god, he got his own Robo, so he's got Immortals, he's got Void Rays. Obviously, Classic will have a less mobile army because herO will have Blink over him. But in a head-to-head engagement, Classic will be able to win that fight with those Immortals, with those Void Rays. He just has a much more robust army overall. He's looking to move out on the map. That base getting fully saturated at this point. I do think we did see a recall. Oh, as Classic moves out, the proxy pylon was not scattered. herO is going to try to sneak in a couple of adepts. Uh-oh. Oh boy, and Classic doesn't have anything at home to defend other than that 1 Immortal. There we go, he does see it. Does warp in back at home. Ropes are falling left and right. A lot of lost mining time. At the same time, here we go. Classic, he pulls the trigger. He dives on in. The shield battery for herO is not done. With no shield battery, he does have Blink. He has a better concave. He holds on. herO does hold. Meanwhile, the Adepts, they confirm that there is no Nexus, by the way, so herO believes that his opponent is all in. He's forced to pop that overcharge as well. herO just doesn't know what's been going on this game. And good blinks overall. Classic is looking to overwhelm. And with only 1 shield battery, it looks like he may be able to break this. Here we go, we blink on forward, we dive on top of this. The Prism goes down with, I think there was an Immortal inside that, and it looks like herO is going to be able to barely take this fight. Ooh, he takes down the last Immortal. Very decisive moves out of herO. Very bold as well. To dive on top of 2 Immortals and a Void Ray like that. I think it was 2 Void Rays even. herO is going to be able to chase this all down despite being behind in the economy, despite, yeah, not having anywhere near as much to work with. He's fighting back. Unfortunately, you can see Classic, he has 800 minerals in the bank. These gateways were late. Classic, he had a good economy. He didn't have the production to actually make use of the economy at all. He's like drowning in minerals and he couldn't spend it. Oof. And the Ninja base has been spotted. Ay. herO gonna be able to shut this down. The one advantage that Classic once had, no longer. Probes may be able to escape, but herO wants to shut down this base. Pylons do go down. Classic is going for a big counterattack. herO is out of position. He's not at home to defend. He's going to be forced to recall. And herO, he's ready for it. He's bunched up his army. He's ready for that recall. Classic does show up. As soon as the Nexus goes down, there's that recall. herO, he makes it back home in time. Classic is up against the wall. He's able to throw down a backup Nexus, throw down a new natural base, but herO has so much momentum going his way. The Blink Stalkers really did work out for herO in the end. Once again, focuses down the Prism, then the Immortal, and then everything else. GG gets called. Oh my god. And herO takes the series 2-1, qualifying for GSL. Oh. GG. that was a pretty back and forth game, not gonna lie. I can't believe Classic was able to get away with that gold base, and I can't believe that it didn't really work out too much for him. Again, minerals aren't the biggest of deals in PvP, as you can imagine. It's not like in ZVZ where you can make Lings or Marines and TVT or as a Terran. As a Protoss, like Blink Stalkers, they're like your core army units for the most part, or Stalkers in general, and they do take quite a bit of gas to work with. And you saw as Classic was taking as his army was being cleaned up, he had a massive mineral bank. He barely had any gas, so he was warping in, to be fair, but again, he couldn't like reinforce with zealots the way that I'm sure he wanted to help buffer for his army. He didn't have the gateways for it, didn't have the production, wasn't able to actually make use of that gold base well enough to snowball, to capitalize on it and break herO. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. My condolences to Classic, but he has another chance. He has another shot, as he is going to be looking to face off here against his next opponent. We were talking about it earlier. TY has been lying in wait for the loser of this series. We have one more qualifying match here in Group A. It is going to be Classic versus TY.